Hey Crocrastinators, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Maggie and this is Maggie May Crochet. In today's video, I'm going to just catch you up on some of the things that I've worked on this week and share some plans. This is my alarm for my class change. I'm on summer break. Today is kind of officially my first day of summer break. Yesterday was my last day with students, and I do have some professional development Monday and Tuesday, but technically I'm kind of done now. So I do need to remember to quiet or silence my alarms for the summer. Super excited about that. Okay, so let's see. Before I was interrupted, I was saying that we are going to just review some of the things that I've been making, some tips and tricks that I've come up with over the last week with some of my makes, and I want to just take some time to share them with you. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't mention this right off the bat. Speaking of you, guys, our community has grown so much. We are now at more than 20,000 subscribers. Yay! I'm so excited. At last count, there were 20,216. I did not change my number back there of you who watch the channel and subscribe. So this is very exciting, and I'm just so happy to be able to have this platform to share crochet, my love of crochet with you all, and for you to share your love of crochet with me. If you are new here, you're probably wondering, what on earth is this channel about? Well, I haven't really figured that out yet. If you go back to the beginning when I first started the channel, it wasn't actually meant to be a public channel. I was teaching middle school at the time, and I had some students that wanted to learn how to crochet, so I put together a little crochet club. And in order for them to be able to work on their crochet at home, I made a few videos and posted them to YouTube so that they could practice at home. Well, I made them public, and other people were watching them besides my students. So I got the bug, and the channel has just grown from there. Some of the viewers that I have like to do amigurumi, some like blankets and apparel and things. So I have a mix of everything, because I am not someone who really likes to stick with one thing for very long. I like to kind of shake things up and challenge myself. Honestly, I'm kind of a hobbyist, and I don't have a crochet business. Sometimes I see something that I think is super cute, and I want to share it with others who may also think they're cute. And as I'm learning and doing the patterns, I like to share with you some of the tips and tricks that I have found while I'm making the patterns. So the first pattern I want to share with you is something that I found on Etsy and just thought it was very cute, and I thought I would try to make it and share with you what I thought about the pattern. First of all, if you are someone who does markets or you sell your plushies, this is the perfect pattern for that. It worked up so quickly, so easy, incredibly easy. It is for the swirly snake. Okay, I made 3 of them because the pattern comes with directions to make 3 different sizes. Okay, I haven't decided whether I like the tongue or not. You can put the tongue on or leave it off, but they're just so fast and so cute, I think. So in order to help expedite my videos and to help you out better, I've started a little system. I hope that I can keep this up and that it's going to be helpful. But I struggle to remember the yarn that I use, the hook sizes that I use. Sometimes forgetting the hook size has really caused me headaches. So I'm going to try this new system. I have little tags that I've put on my makes so that I can just kind of refer to those real quick. So this is a pattern called the Swirly Snake by Zazulia. I bought it on Etsy, and the pattern was $6.09. I used Bernat Mystical, and this color is Sunshine. I used a 4.5 millimeter hook. How was that? That was pretty efficient, I think. This one is the medium snake. Sorry, this was the large snake, medium snake. Again, Bernat Mystical in fresh green, 4.5 millimeter hook. The smaller one was made with Hobby Lobby's Adorable. It is the color Hippalicious, and it's a 5 bulky size yarn. So I did stick with the 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. So this is a little bit smaller, not just because it's a smaller pattern, but I used a lighter weight yarn. But super duper cute, super duper fast. What I liked about it was that instead of having to work in rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds this way, you work flat, and by putting decreases in, it's causing your work to curl. Now you do have to do a little bit of sewing. I know a lot of people are against sewing, but guys, it's so simple. You're just whip stitching along the length of the snake to close both ends. I wouldn't even call it sewing. It's really simple. I would not use slip stitches to close because I would not want a seam along here. I think that just the way your little stitches kind of make that zigzag look kind of just enhances the snake scale appearance. I'm trying to watch to see how my camera is focusing. Okay. Just really, really fun. I think these would sell well if you are a market maker. I tend to give away most of my plushies to my students. I use them as incentives. So that's where a lot of them go. Maybe one day I'll think about selling. I always talk about that at markets, but I don't know if I want that pressure right now. So, okay, that was my market make I wanted to share with you. Next I want to share with you, and I don't have it with me right now because I gave it as a gift this morning, but I did take pictures and I will post them here. It is the Rubber Ducks pattern by Hugurumi Toys. Okay, Hugurumi Toys, Hugurumi Toys. It is another simple make. It's all one piece. The thing that I liked about this particular rubber ducky pattern is that it's very well balanced. I have seen other reviews where people talk about the rubber duck pattern, and sometimes it's top heavy and it wants to topple over. This one sits up beautifully. So again, I'll put some pictures in here and show you just how cute it is. That would be another great market make for my market makers. All right, at least I'll be able to find a pair. Look at what I just found. No wonder I'm always searching for my glasses. Glad I didn't step on them. Last video I shared with you some gifts that I'm making for my friends who are having another baby, and I made this Roo Snuggly. I'll put the, well actually I don't have to put it down in the bottom. Here we go, glasses on again. This is a pattern by, and I have to spell it, Frauskau. Frauskau. I've got it on Etsy, and it's the Roo Snuggler pattern. Super, super cute pattern. In fact, I really love the way the maker instructs you to use a method of color changing that gives you a nice straight line. I even made a real short tutorial on how to do that. I shared with you guys if you're interested in that. But anyway, I used, this is when I did the hobby yarn haul, and I was pretty impressed with the yarn except for the color, the Dusty Rose. I wasn't crazy about that. But anyway, another reason that I decided I need to start making these little tags and marking my work is that every time I do a pattern, I swear I'm not going to forget the hook size that I used. And every time I set it down and pick it up again, I can never remember my hook size. So that happened, and I made different size heads and bodies. So rather than frogging, I just decided to keep the pieces and try to match up hook sizes and make a second one. The second one I decided to stuff though, so that he is not a snuggler. And I think he is just super duper cute. If you'll notice, looking at their faces, other than this guy's eyes, I think I need to work on his sleepy eye a little bit, make it a little thicker. But I did my first try at face shaping. You can see how his little nose goes in and around his eyes. This guy's face is a little flat. So I think I'm going to try this on more of my makes. I was a little nervous about doing it, but knew I'd be okay because I had this as a backup. So I think what I'm going to do, maybe while I'm filming today, is do a little bit of the face shaping to kind of share with you how I did it, and kind of encourage you not to be too afraid to try it, because I think it really makes a big difference in the details and how cute your snuggly or plushies turn out. What you do is you're going to place little stitches wherever you want your plushie to come in, okay? So to get started, you'll take your yarn and you're going to place it underneath somewhere, not right across the face there, but we just want to insert it. And angle your needle so that it comes out where you want the dip to happen. So for this one, for example, I went right under his eyes here. I had the needle go up in through his chin here, and then I had the needle come out where I wanted my dent to happen, okay? So if I want to define his little nose area here, I'm just going to place my needle coming up there. Now you don't want to pull it all the way through. You're going to need this to tie off in the end, okay? So honestly, guys, there's no real rhyme or reason or science to this. It's just a lot of trial and error to see what you think you like, and you can always take it out if you don't like what you've done. So I'm going to place, I want it to come in right under his eyes to kind of make his nose really come out. So I'm going to pull my yarn there. And what you want to do now is hold on to your bottom piece, because you don't want to pull it through. And you're going to tug on this. And you see how that kind of just gave him a little bit more definition there? So I want to come around now on the other side. That was about 2 or 3 stitches worth. I'm going to have to say right there. Where do I want another little bit of definition? So I think what I'll do is have it come in here, and then I'm going to go right under the eye to just kind of give a little definition there too. Okay, again, I'm going to hold my beginning tail and just give it a little bit of a tug, and that's going to help make his nose kind of come out, give it some definition. I'm going to go under the other eye. And then once you're finished with your face shaping, you're going to place your needle back, not through the same hole that your tail's coming out of, because if you do, it's not going to give the tension that you need. It'll just be too loose. So you're going to come kind of to a stitch or a piece of yarn, a strand, just underneath it or above it, just so that it's not the same hole. Okay, so I can tug on both pieces here. And you see he's got a little more definition to his face now, right? So now I'm going to tie a little knot. Cut my ends. And I find this really works well, better than using a crochet hook even, is just to take the tails now and tuck them in with a skinny pair of scissors down into the plush. Okay, and just kind of get it down into all that fiber fill to kind of disguise it some. So again, this is kind of something that you're just going to have to play around with, and it's going to take some practice to get your technique down. but I think he looks a little better already. So I have been fussing a bit about all the yarn that I have. I have what's behind me, and then I have a whole room that is just filled with yarn in boxes, Rubbermaid tubs, and I really need to start working through them. So I came across a pattern that I thought I'd try a little stash busting with, and I was getting a little nervous with my yarn chicken, as they say, and I think I turned out okay. This is what's left, and I am finished with the pattern. Now I just have to piece it together. Let me show you what I've got going. This is going to be my little frog prince. It's not a written pattern, but it is a free pattern on Amigurumi Today's website, and I am just kind of referring back to that. I'll put the link or a picture of it here on the screen so that you can see, but I just love this, and I had this green I wanted to use up. I didn't use as much yellow as I was hoping to. I still have quite a bit of that left, but I can at least say that I did bust a little bit of my stash, only to make room for this yarn. So if you follow my channel, you know how much I love animals and my pets in particular. So I wanted to make a bearded dragon. I did work on one. Where's he at? Oh, he's in the other room, but you guys have seen it. I'll put a link here for my not so great looking bearded dragon. But when I was at Walmart, I saw these yarns, and I thought, oh my gosh, if those aren't the perfect bearded dragon colors, I have to try to make one. So that is on my to-do list for the week. I'm going to be searching YouTube, Etsy, you name it, to try to find a pattern that I can make a bearded dragon. Hopefully I'll have it done and I can share with you next week. So stash busting was a bust. I've been also looking, since I am going to be working on trying to put my guide together here. They have amigurumi sticks that you can purchase, but I don't want to wait for an order of anything to come in. So while I was at Publix this morning, can you tell I'm a teacher on summer break? I was all over shopping and doing all kinds of fun stuff. I found these. These are bamboo sticks. I liked these because they have the little, let me try to open it here. Not that I'm sure I'll know what to do with this little end piece here, but I just thought that would be easier to work with. They're relatively smooth so that I'll be able to put them in my work to hold my pieces together. It's a little long, but I still thought that was kind of cool rather than wait for the amigurumi sticks. The only concern I have is that amigurumi sticks are usually metal, and I don't want my bamboo to catch on my yarn or my filling. My stuffing. Not bad, but I did buy something that is like an amigurumi stick. It's a knitting needle that's sharp on both ends. And the only problem with that was that it was so smooth, my pieces kind of spun around. So this is a little rougher, and I think it'll hold things in place a little better. So we'll give it a try. Thanks again, everybody, and thanks so much for being a part of this community. And I will get back with you real soon. It's going to be a very productive summer, I'm hoping. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.